these two teams have got up their sleeves. Starting with Gambit here, blue side getting first ban and first pick, and taking their time about it as well. It will in fact be Ziggs the first ban out here, a champion that we have seen Kerp running multiple times.
Yeah, and the thing is, Kerp is actually very good on a multitude of champions. He can farm very well on these sort of mage type mid laners, but it does mean LeBlanc and Lulu are still up. With Ziggs and Cassidy both off the table, I almost wonder if we're going to see an onslaught of mid lane bans coming out. We'll see what the teams decide to do.
Yeah, 7 in the last games, only 2 wins for Millenium, and those 2 were with Ziggs in the mid lane. Caitlyn will be the second ban here for Gambit. Other side, you mentioned it, Cassidy's got to be banned away by Millenium, and that Lulu, not wanting to let LCS get his hands on that.
So with Gambit getting rid of Caitlyn, their AD carry of Genja has played a massive number of games on Jinx and Lucian this split. It's going to remove one of the big lane bullies that makes his life very, very difficult. It's also taking it away from Creaton, who's played Caitlyn in 5 of their games. We may see something like a very early Lucian pickup for the side of Gambit if they want to try focus their picks that route.
Well, let's see, taking their time for these third bans, and we'll have to see exactly what comes into this one. And actually, Gambit didn't take a third ban.
No, they didn't. That's definitely not the case. There's no third ban on the side of Gambit. We'll get a confirmation that that is actually a decision from them, which you can only theorize. But we did talk about how the mid lane bans were going to be a focus. 4 out of the 5 coming in here for the mid. The only question is now, what do Gambit want to prioritize? There's still Elise is up and available. Lucian, as we've talked about. Thresh is there as well. So there's a lot of choices here for Gambit. They left one of the quote-unquote OP picks open by not banning a third champion.
Yeah, which they might be thinking, okay, Millenium are going to get 2 of them, but we're going to get a big list of them by the time it comes back around onto us. But where is the all-important first pick going to come in here? Will they give that Lucian over to Genja? The thing is about Genja, we've seen it time and time again, that he can run other AD carries. Varus, for example, over at IEM was brilliant for him. It is, in fact, going to be the Renekton here locked in for Gambit. Araneae actually told me yesterday he's going to troll me by hovering over Soraka until the last second. I'm not falling for it.
Well, at least you knew the troll was coming, so we didn't get too excited. Just so you guys know, it was an intentional and deliberate decision from Gambit not to ban that third champion. So they wanted to leave maybe the Renekton up, they wanted to leave the Trundle up or something along those lines. So with Renekton being locked in, we know that Darien's going to have his strong lane bully. I mean, he's probably going to be looking for that one-on-one matchup, trying to get in the face of Kevin. We've seen Kevin in the past running a lot of Shen. He's played 5 times this split already, and we actually seen how a Shen can do well against a Renekton once he gets some armor built up. But we'll see what they decide to lock in. Going to lock in the Trundle instead. So weak early game, strong late game is something that we've seen from Trundle time and time and time again.
And the lease in there for Araneae, switching away from Soraka, trying to draw me into that one, not having any of it. Other side here then for Gambit, what is up their sleeve for this one? Already got themselves that Renekton for the top lane. I could well see them taking Lucian in this round of picks to stop Creaton having that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And with the Thresh hover over, Gambit are also signaling they've got their top lane matchup already. They don't need to lock in a jungler just yet. Elise is still available. Diamond could also run Evelyn. It's something we talked about in the pre-game. And I think, depending on what the rest of Millenium lock in, may determine what jungler Gambit actually want to run in this matchup.
For Millenium then, what are they thinking of? Will they go for the bottom lane? Expecting them to leave that mid lane pick until their last choice, of course, so they can counter whatever Gambit throws their way. And right now, hovering over Leona. In terms of AD carries, we've seen all sorts coming out of Creaton. This time around will, in fact, be an Ezreal. Did open up the season, actually, with 2 Ezreal games in a row, and one of which was a win against SK. One of not many wins this season for Millenium with Leona this time around.
Truthfully, I have not been particularly impressed by Ezreal's this split. The other AD carries are simply outshining Ezreal in that bottom lane. And just to put things in perspective, when we see Genja on Lucian, this is going to be the 7th time that he's played Lucian this split. Out of the 22 games that Gambit will have played, he has 10 games on Jinx and now 7 on Lucian. So this is a super heavy focus for Genja on that AD carry. The next question is he going to build his Infinity Edge Blade of the Rune King Zephyr, which is something he's been trending to over and over the last couple of weeks?
I hope not.
We will see. We will see. I mean, he's going to need some armor penetration to deal with Trundle. He didn't get it at IEM. It cost him a little bit. It was against a Renekton that time round. We'll see what he decides today.
Are we going to see KhaZix? Yes, we are. And Ryze locked in here, an old favorite for LCS. That famous quote, see hero, kill hero. Loves to play himself some Ryze. And Obviously feeling it this time around as well. Very interested how that one works out. We've been hearing a lot of, Ryze is really coming back into power.
Yeah, so the part of the reason that Ryze is so much more effective now, the additional range on his Q makes his laning phase so much stronger. It allows you to get in range. You throw the overload down Q, then W Rune Prison, and it reduces the cooldown on your overload to get another Q out. Meaning, against most of the mid/top laners, you get a spell reel off in relative safety. That was enough of a buff to his early game to allow Ryze to actually get the items he needs to scale into the mid and late game. The scary thing is, where Gambit have got strong early game champions with Renekton and KhaZix, their late game is also balanced out by the monster that Ryze and Lucian can become as well.
And we know that if anyone can really farm their way into a late game beast, then Alex it would be one of them. He's going to be going up against Gragas here with Kerp. We saw him in the LCS big plays, some great Gragas play yesterday. How's he going to fare against this Ryze then?
So Gragas is going to be able to outrange Ryze at the very least, and he can use his barrels to zone Ryze away. So what Alex is going to be looking for is some early ganks from the help of Diamond on that KhaZix. Once he gets to level 6 and he can evolve that ultimate, he's going to have that stealth and the ability to run in there. What I like about Gambit's comp is they have 4 members of the team that want to be in your face. Renekton, KhaZix, Ryze, and Thresh want to be running amok in the middle, with Lucian hanging around in the background. Because there's so many threats on the front line, it means that Kerp has to be perfect with his barrels to disrupt it. Otherwise, it's going to be a very difficult team fight for Millenium to win.
Really excited to see how Diamond does as well, bringing that KhaZix once again into the jungle. But let's take a quick look at your voting numbers for this matchup. According to LOLesports.com, you've picked Gambit by a whopping 89%. I was actually expecting a little bit more than that.
I have to be honest, I did expect the same. Millenium getting a little bit more votes this match, but I also think Gambit's average level has somewhat diminished from what we're used to seeing. I mean, if you compare them to the Spring Split last year, they were much more dominant. They were much more clearly ahead of the curve as far as the other LCS teams are concerned. This time around, I mean, Gambit are only 12-9 this split. They've only got 3 additional wins to their losses, which you don't really think about or expect from this team.
But on the other side of the coin, they were the team that pushed the KT World to close this at IEM just last week. We're going to find out how this one goes for them as we get in-game. Gambit versus Millenium, almost a must-win for both these teams for very different reasons, though. Gambit trying to chase their way back up towards that first position, and for Millenium, they just desperately need points on the board at this stage.
Yeah, if Millenium accrue just 1 or 2 more losses, they are going to be sitting on the verge of mathematical guaranteed relegation. We're running the numbers now from this week and next week to see exactly what their chances are of making it into the playoffs. But a win here would make it a lot simpler. Jree is about to get sight of the members of Gambit when they walk across, so we need to see if Edward can land some good CC, either with a flay or a death sentence. The moment they walk out, we'll see where Jree's going to go. He's got to head down the river. There's no way for him to get away. He's going to be able to stay out of range and see if Edward can connect with the death sentence.
Is he going to go flashing in? The fact that the rest of the team have kind of gone the other way tells me maybe not here, as we see Creaton doing some damage from the side, and actually Darien and Edward just going to walk off in towards that tri-bush. We'll see if Darien actually recalls here, whether he's going to walk to the top side. It does look like we will be seeing the duos facing off down bottom.
Yeah, it's something that I almost expect from Gambit. Even though the Ezreal Leona lane can get scary once they hit level 6, getting up to level 6, Lucian and Thresh should be able to punish them. Genja's going to get stunned up and take a lot of poke, but this is... I think he needs to recall and heal. It's a little risky because it's very early on. The one thing I do want to highlight just about the early items, Jree has gone for that Relic Shield start, and Alex has actually gone for Boots as his first item in that mid lane. We talked about how Gragas' barrels can outrange Ryze and zone him. Those Boots are definitely going to help Alex to just avoid that damage and also get in range of Gragas to get that harass down with his QWQ combo.
Good to see Alex Hitch coming back towards Ryze in this mid lane. In terms of the jungle starts, though, we go after a little bit of action at level 1 to our standard starts, with Araneae being helped out there on his red buff on the top side of the jungle. Diamond going to be starting off his blue buff here. Won't have many problems with that one, and looking to replicate the kind of form and disruption that we saw out of Insect's KhaZix during IEM.
Yeah, so we'll see how Diamond makes that work. One of the great things about the 4.3 KhaZix and the damage reduction on his ultimate is that he can jump into a team, forces your opponents to put down a pink ward or to use one of those scrying lenses, for example, get vision on him. And even though he's, revealed, he's got 50% damage reduction if Diamond evolves at level 6. We'll have to see what his build path is. Jree, once once again going for some early poke, but let's be honest, it's not the greatest at this stage.
No, not exactly doing tons of damage to each other as Diamond there on his red buff. Araneae is doing his blue, so we'll see if the junglers now, after they have these double buffs, are going to be getting involved in these lanes. There's the first shot coming out from Edward, just skipping wide of the point there. Jree, we talked about it, didn't have his best of days yesterday, was missing hooks left, right and centre. He's going to have to be landing his Leona ultimates in particular if they want to get things underway today.
Yeah, and there's no room for error because of the team that Gambit has. Well, as we're talking about that, Diamond, he's going to go on Kerp.
Oh, Flash jumps in there as well. They've managed to get the slowdown. Kerp has already flashed here. In comes Araneae from the side, but Araneae might go down. There is the kill onto Kerp. Araneae gets slowed. Alex is going to nuke him. Double kill. Disaster for Millenium.
That is terrible for Millenium. Alex not only gets first blood and a secondary kill, but the double buffs to boot. This is on a champion that wants to get items and wants to scale as quickly as possible. You never want to give any more gold than you absolutely have to a Ryze. And I think this should be an instant tier plus a Ruby Crystal potentially. Going to have to start working towards that Rod of Ages. That is a massive power spike for Alex. A 3-minute 50 tier plus blue, this is going to stack incredibly quickly.
It's not the only tier either. Millenium surely crying about this one. Not a good start whatsoever. Araneae comes around to try and protect Kerp from the damage. Ends up losing his life as well, and both kills, as we say, go over to Alex. There's Jree diving in. Expert play from Edward.
Very, very well played by Edward, cancelling out that play onto Genja. I actually think that even if it had followed through, I feel like Creaton was a little too far behind, but good reactions there from Edward to protect his AD carry. We'll see how that lane continues to play out. One of the other reasons that gank sort of didn't really work out in Araneae's favor is he jumps into like this like no man's land where you're going to be able to just get isolated away from Diamond procs and zoned out. You know, Kerp was in full retreat. I think Araneae maybe should have played that a bit more safely. We heard him saying in the pregame, whenever he sees Gambit, he gets sad and gets scared. That's exactly why.
Indeed, not the start that they were looking for from that one. Darien, as we expect here with this Renekton, doing a lot of bullying onto Kevin in this top lane. Does have a CS and an experience advantage at this point. We'll see if, you know, what usually happens to Darien if he gets ahead in the early game. He tends to kind of lose his head a little bit, go between the turrets. We'll see how controlled he keeps this one, because yesterday he did not have a good game for Gambit.
Oh, Alex is chasing Kerp, but here comes Araneae.
Araneae from the side. Double buffs on Alex there, and actually Alex just turns things around. Diamond walls coming up from the bottom side of the river as well. Not really a threat there, and even if it were, Millenium don't have any flashes to chase in with afterwards. Well, you're going to get room prison, aren't you? Then you're not going to be able to chase, especially without the flash.
Well, here's Darien, as you talked about. He's got a little bit of a lead. He's got a matchup that he's comfortable in, so he's farming between the turrets in this top lane. I just want to quickly go back to that early tier that Alex was able to pick up about 1 or 2 patches ago. Tier did have a slight change and buff to it where it will passively give you mana without needing to cast spells, so it actually fills ever so slightly quicker. The only reason I highlight that, we haven't actually seen tiers built into anything because the champions have sort of fallen out of favor a little bit in the 2014 season.
There is Darien, another full wave in between the inner and outer turrets on the top lane. Leaves Kevin all alone to farm on that top side. Kevin does have himself the teleport, so we can see if he gets into the action, as we are seeing Araneae coming down towards the bottom. Edward going low, has to flash away. Genja trying to escape as well. The Q block, can they get the damage down? Oh, the hook onto Araneae, he's going down. Edward picks up the kill. Can you believe it?
It's not over because here comes Diamond and Alex. They want Creaton and Jree.
And there's no flashes up. There is for Jree, but not for Creaton. Can he jump out of this one? They lock down Jree. Have they got the damage to finish off? No, not quite.
Not just yet. So they managed to get away with their lives. But the Thresh Prince arrives once more. Underneath the turret, Edward saves his flash till the last second, throws out the death sentence, connecting with Araneae, getting 2 additional turret shots, and that allowed him to pick up the kill with his ignite. That was turning around a gank, which truthfully should have been a kill for Millenium. That was great counterplay by the bottom lane of Gambit.
And Genja blocking out that Q, which would have meant the death, most definitely, of Edward. Funnily enough, the man that turns that one around. It leaves Gambit 3-0 up. A huge chunk of gold already. It's almost 10,000. That really would be a huge chunk. 2,000 gold. 7 minutes and 20 seconds only into this game. We see that both mid laners have now hit level 6.
Darien's in trouble.
Araneae, yeah, coming up towards Darien. This is the way that you catch Darien out. You make him feel comfortable, then you chase him down. There's the pillar coming in. They're going to follow him through. Kerp actually comes around with the explosive cast to get the kill.
That's actually very important. The fact that 3 members get that assist gold, they are going to just gain some additional power. Remember that Kevin on Trundle is already behind Renekton just because of the matchup. So good play. Araneae is about to hit level 6. He unfortunately has not had the greatest of starts to this game. But if he can find good knockbacks and allow the rest of his team to pick up kills, that Trundle and Gragas, they have the tools available to scale up and deal well with this Renekton and Ryze.
Interested to see now how Kerp does in this mid lane. He's brought himself that CS lead up, approaching 10 CS in his favor. His blue buff will be coming into play here in a second as well. Araneae just getting that one all kicked off. And well, Araneae then venture down on towards this bottom lane once again. We'll see about that because Creaton is behind CS to Genja, and obviously that kill from a little bit earlier on onto Araneae kind of set this mid lane even further back for Millenium.
Yeah, what we actually seen there is as the blue buff was being secured there for Kerp with the help of Araneae, Alex actually threw down his ultimate to get that movement speed and try get in range to attempt to steal that blue buff away. That's a very aggressive play from Alex on that Ryze. Now, his cooldown, you know, it does get reduced whenever he casts his spells thanks to his passive, so it's not a massive investment, but it's a nice signal that Alex is roaming, is invading, and he wants to play aggressively.
Well, Darien died in the top lane, but now he's come back in and managed to take the first tower of the game down almost for free there. Kevin had recalled, got himself the Vamp Scepter in there with a Chain Vest as well. And there is Alex charging on through, has popped his ultimate. They get in towards Kerp, but Kerp flashes out.
Yeah, instant reply. The Kerp did not want to run the risk of getting slowed by KhaZix and then rooted by Ryze. We see that Diamond Prox on that KhaZix has actually evolved his Void Assault, that ultimate, so he does have that additional charge, does have that damage reduction. Now the rest of Gambit have grouped around Dragon. Millenium looking to challenge, and Solar Flare is available from Jree, so I think that's a smart call by Gambit to back away. In those tight corridors, the power of Leona and Gragas is actually going to be a little bit better than their team fight combo can offer at this point, so wise call to back away and not run the risk of multi-man ultimates.
Oh, there's Alex actually going in onto Kerp, gets altered back. This is good damage from Kerp. Alex forced to flash away.
Very well played by Kerp. The burst that's coming out of Gragas, even without much ability power, he's just sitting on 2 Doran's rings, and his runes and masteries was enough to force Alex away. Now, if Alex sticks in the lane, Araneae's going to be looking to set something up, but you can see Alex has actually backed away. He's going to recall. Kerp, not too phased by those 2 early kills. Like we said, he's got the range, he's got the damage on Gragas to deal with that Ryze right now.
Kevin going in on towards Darien once again, as I mentioned. Vamp Scepter was picked up. Darien has himself a Giant Spell and a Chain Vest as well, but look at this. The rest of Millenium are starting to close in. Kevin going to go awfully low from this one, but there is the ultimate thrown down by Kevin. Kerp just waiting off to the side here, and Darien, I'm afraid, is going to be going down once again, or is he? He's somehow managed to escape down the back. Ignite is ticking, but he is still alive. Kevin's got no mana to really chase this. It's going to have to be Araneae landing the Q. Oh, he missed it. He flashes in, misses the Q. He's going to be getting another one up here in a second. He's still got full HP, so he can go under the tower, and Darien dodges behind. How in hell did he just survive that? Either way, it's opened up Gambit's first dragon.
The Swag Lord himself just trots out with his red pants on. He gets away. Now that play was going to allow Gambit to get positioning on Dragon to begin with, but he gets away with his life. Now it's not over. It's Jree and Creaton already Trundle. The hook doesn't connect.
Monk misses there. It's a good solar flare. Creaton jumps in towards Diamond. They're calling coming out. Creaton now left on his own. Jree going low as well. Diamond actually taking a lot of hits. There is the ulti out of Creaton, but they lock down Jree. Low HP on 2 men, but a kill is a kill.
4 members of Gambit grabbed themselves assists. They got the Dragon a few seconds ago, and Gambit looked like a revitalized team. The mistakes of the roaming yesterday against Alliance have not repeated themselves here today against Millenium. Alex is thinking about going in on Kerp, and I think the epitome of what Gambit are doing right now is constant roaming. Alex has not been in that mid lane for a significantly long amount of time. He's tried to invade blue. He's gone bottom lane twice already at the 12-minute mark. This is quite unheard of.
And in that top lane, Darien just got back there and constantly annoying the hell out of Kevin. But here comes a push on towards LCS. He gets knocked away. Araneae misses another point-blank Q. We did see the ultimate pop from LCS, but the rest of the team here are closing in. LCS turns around, goes on towards Kerp, does get kicked away here by Araneae. Surely can't miss another Q at this range. Surely will finish him off, and he does have to dash out to the ward. Safety first. Millenium pick up a kill back onto Alex.
So Alex, once again, just getting bounced around by Kerp. This is actually a good sign for Millenium because Kerp's barrels have been on point. He's knocked Alex around. He's almost been able to solo Alex on 2 separate occasions right now. Enlisted the help of Araneae to secure the most recent kill. The problem for Millenium is they're giving up too much CS and too many objectives. They've lost a tower, they've lost a dragon, which means they're 3,000 gold behind. If they can stop that, if they can prevent losing any more gold and items to Gambit, and they can stall the game, they can actually pull themselves back in. But it's a very risky business they have right now.
And meanwhile, pushing out this bottom lane, Creaton has found himself regaining the CS lead here. And if we look at Genja's build, I don't want to call it too early, but it does look like he's going to go Bloodthirster first, which is very strange for Genja.
So we'll see if this actually gets upgraded. I'm not believing yet. And the reason I say so, he's gone Bilgewater Cutlass into IE. Right now, Darien and Diamond, they're turning it on Kevin and Araneae.
Yeah, no need to be scared here. They've got the damage coming out of KhaZix, and here comes LCS. Kevin gonna get blasted, but can they finish him off? Chasing him down here. Kevin's got no more escapability. Darien thought about going there, I think, on towards the steps of the base, but they get the 1 kill nonetheless on towards Araneae, who, again, he's struggling. 3 deaths for him already. I'm
actually disappointed with Darien. He had Flash and Ignite available. I think he could have got that kill if he went for it. But once again, Gambit just controlling this map. You see, Diamond has been roaming and in the lanes an immense amount. And with Darien moving from the top lane into the red buff, they were able to just stumble on top of Kevin and Araneae in the jungle, turn that around. With the Dominus at this level and no real defensive stats for Kevin, he's got a Chain Vest and Ninja Tabi. It's not enough to deal with all of that damage that's coming out of Renekton and KhaZix.
Well, this bot lane pushed back a little, and Genja regaining the CS lead that Creaton wrestled back from him earlier on. Meanwhile, LCS is going to get a 3rd blue buff of the game, because let's not forget he did get the double buffs of Araneae right at the start. Made that lane a little harder for Kerp, but he's since caught up nicely in that one. He's 112 to the 94 CS of LCS, and there is the Athene's Unholy Grail done. Jree actually moving down because the rest of the team are going to start to close in onto this one. Edward puts down the box, that's going to slow them, but here comes Kevin from the backside, puts down the pillar. Edward's definitely sacrificing himself here. I'm not sure that Genja gets away. A good barrel comes across. Kevin picks up the kill.
Very good play by Millenium. Now, if they stay on this bottom tower, they can actually drop this one. We see Kerp immediately roaming back to that mid lane. He wants to defend and prevent Alex getting damage onto his tower. Now, we'll see how quickly Millenium can get that bottom tower and rotate around. There's no dragon available, but that's what we talked about. Millenium have the tools at their disposal. With a teleport Trundle and with very good barrels coming out of Kerp, it is setting them up to grab some kills and not necessarily out of this game just yet.
1 minute and 40 seconds until the next dragon comes up, and there is the Cutlass for Genja, so I'll stand corrected on that one.
Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, the standard is Infinity Edge into Blade of the Rune King. Maybe, if he has a lot of kills back-to-back, it does allow him to grab a Stinger or an instant Zephyr. You can argue till the end of time the decision-making and whether or not it works, but right now Gambit are in control. They've got themselves that just shy of 3k gold lead. You see that Darien is counter-jungling the Wraiths. You can see Diamond is moving with him. They've set themselves up. They want to go in behind Kevin. I think Kevin will make it to the lane in time.
Already inside of that lane, there's the ultimate prop out of Diamond though, and they're going to go in towards Kevin. Stun comes down, Pillar is in position, but Kevin is going very, very low. This will be a finisher. Darien picks that one up, but the rest of the Millenium are coming towards that top lane. LCS did start moving up as well, but they're trying to escape. Meanwhile, Gambit did take down the outer turret on the bottom lane, and look at this, Diamond did start to move back, but Darien kind of stuck in place, gets kicked back here underneath the turret, flashes away, Solar Flare will lock him up. There's the finishing damage. Kerp gets the kill.
That was a very good kick from Araneae. The problem is the only kill that Millenium were able to secure in that top lane meant that they've lost 2 towers. The bottom outer turret and the middle outer is not going to go down. Good defense, good play from Edward.
Brilliant play. Edward being on point with those plays so far, as the Q from Araneae did land, but I think was a little scared of going too close towards LCS, who's really starting to build up now.
So I want to just go back to that top lane fight. I actually think Kevin may have killed himself. He put the pillar down right in front of himself, and he had to walk around it, while Darien and Diamond were sitting right on top of him. I feel that Pillar maybe could have been used a little bit more optimally to buy some time to run away. Nevertheless, Kevin was taken out. He's still farming okay in a matchup where he's been dealing with Darien. Now, Dragon has respawned. Both teams are grouping, and the action's going to carry on. Now, Edward's in trouble.
Himself stunned, but will they follow in? Actually, a lot of damage. Just sidesteps a true shot barrage from Creaton. And I think if that had landed, Araneae may well have just followed up with his Q. As happens, it didn't, and Millenium have started to back away. But that's allowed the rest of Gambit to actually get in position. Darien has come down from this top lane. They're going to start Dragon.
Yeah, Gambit aren't even afraid of Millenium this time around. The previous Dragon, there was some respect to the tight quarters in the AoE. Right now, Araneae, he's jumping in. He's been hooked.
Oh, he's been hooked, and you don't escape those easily, and will be finished off here. It's Darien that gets the kill in the end, and that turret didn't quite go down before. It will now. Kevin might get one in return, though.
So the Dragon secured by Gambit. They're going to siege up this middle outer turret. That's the last turret on the outer line of defense for Millenium down. Kevin at least gets something back. But the problem is it's too little. The gold lead is now up to 5,000. Creaton's been jumped on by Diamond.
Yeah. KhaZix, he's going to single him out completely from this one. We can see that Creaton using the barrier, which I'm not sure really why you would use your barrier and your flash in that scenario, but Diamond was always going to kill him in my eyes.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think Diamond had a better positioning on him, had so much damage. Now, it's not stopping. Darien's been jumped on by Jree.
Darien's been jumped on. We've seen how slippery he's been in the past. Can get away from this one, though. He's doing a decent amount of damage to two of them. Got his ultimate running here. Of course, he does have a Sunfire cape.
Again!
Look at this. Gragas is coming around. Here is Lucian as well. The Q is going to land. Can Darien survive this one? He's going to jump over the wall. Can you believe it? The Swag Lord, again, walks away. 3 men chasing him. Not even close.
I cannot believe that Darien has got away again. You can make a highlight reel of the number of times he's escaped in this game alone. 3 members of the team were on him. He even stood in the damage from Leona and Kevin's Trundle. For the entirety of 15-20 seconds, manages to get out alive. Unfortunately, Araneae didn't have the damage to execute him, wasn't able to follow up. So Gambit maintain their gold lead, they maintain control of the map, and it seems that every time somebody goes for Darien, an objective is secured by Gambit.
And he died 6 times yesterday against Alliance. To be honest, he probably should have died 5 times, I think, already in this game compared to the 2 that he actually has after getting away so nicely so many times. And if those kills would have come in, this could actually be a really different game from Millenium's side.
Yeah, definitely. And when you've got champions like Trundle and Gragas who, if they get gold and they get items, can do so much with it, it could have been a different landscape. Interestingly now, as we're hitting a 20-minute mark and we see Gambit in a pretty commanding lead right now, when Gambit beats Millenium, as they are 3-0 up in the head-to-head, they beat them faster than any other team that they beat in the LCS. So we'll see if Gambit can close this game out quickly. Traditionally, it's what they've been able to do.
Only 20 minutes in, 8-6 in kills, but that gold lead's starting to become quite monstrous here from Gambit. And there's Darien doing what he does best, which is just running around the top side of the enemy jungle. Genja now has his Infinity Edge complete, by the way.
Infinity Edge plus Bilgewater Cutlass, I believe we're going to be seeing a Blade of the Ruined King as his next big item. Gambit have started off Baron. They have got so much damage on this Baron. Millenium, they don't have vision in the pit. They have no idea this is going on. They haven't made a single move. Finally, Araneae is making his way towards the pit, but I think he's going to be there too late. We'll have to see how he plays this out. They've got to look for a steal.
And he looks that way. Oh, he's been hooked. They jump over the top. Araneae goes down. Baron not finished off. There goes the barrel in. They hook Kerp as well. Kerp's going to become the next victim to this one. Gambit got the Baron as well. What a play from them. Baron, 2 kills as well. They can really push here.
If they siege up on an inhibitor turret, I think they've got enough time to get a turret down. The question is, what sort of defense can Millenium put together? Their wave clear is gone. They do not have Gragas available. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself as it's only the inner turret that is there setting their eyes on. Gambit are just not stopping. They're going in again. Another hook. It connects.
Wow! I didn't even think that was going to be possible. Jree came in to protect Kevin. He finds his life. He's gone from him. And Gambit are going through. They've chased all the way through behind the inhibitor. They're going for Araneae. He gets played and finished off by Genja. He'd only just respawned. Now he's dead again. And Gambit are going back for the inner turret, by the way, which they didn't take down.
Edward is playing out of his skin. This is the Edward that we were used to seeing last split. He has not missed a single important hook. He continues to catch opponents until this very second. Damn you, Edward. Make me eat my words. But look at this gold lead, 10,000. Darien, there is no more swag than dancing in the face of your opponent's Ezreal. They are just in a brilliant position and playing this game fantastically.
And looking confident and having fun, and that seems to be the winning solution from Gambit when they're feeling confident. All right, then he's gonna have another go at this one. Where's he going this time? He's got 5 men from Millenium trying to chase him down. Well, here comes Diamond from the side. Darien has hardly lost any health from that one. They're going to do some good damage onto Kevin. Kerp's going to roll the barrels in, but I feel that Kevin is going to die. It's Edward that picks up that one. Jree's the next target, and Diamond helps along with Edward to finish off that one. And that's 2 kills after Mr. Swaglord himself, by the way, didn't die at all.
Hashtag worth on the side of Darien. He played perfect baits, holding Millenium in place in the jungle. Gambit just collapsed on the members of Millenium, grabbed themselves 2 kills. There was no minions to work with underneath that inhibitor turret, so they didn't stick around on the map. Instead, they backed away. And if you actually look at how many minions are in the top and the bottom lane, Gambit, not the most ideal of sieging and pushing positions. So they have backed off. Going to get themselves some items, get themselves some CS, and we'll see how they push forward. We do want to note, though, Genja's picked up a Zeal, so there is a slight difference in his item pathing. So we'll continue to keep track of that as the game progresses.
We'll see what he ends up going for with that one. He just comes out here from Genja, trying to stop Millenium from taking what would be their 3rd turret. They will take that one as well. So they do finish off the outer ring of turrets, but they've only got 2 inner turrets left in the bottom and the top lane. Middle lane is right down to that Nexus, no, not Nexus, sorry, inhibitor turret at this point.
Yeah, you and I both getting a bit ahead of ourselves as far as the turrets are concerned. I think I want to touch on the item build here from Diamond Proc just a tiny bit more.
Forget Diamond, just talk about Darien. He's got Morellonomicon now.
Morellonomicon on Renekton. Now, he does have some AP scaling on that Dominus. There is some AP Renekton builds out there, but hey, cooldown reduction reduces healing from Trundle, who has built-in healing. I'm trying to theory craft this. It's Darien and it's Gambit. I mean, there's nothing more you can say.
Yeah. He's having fun.
The wizard of the top lane, and they jump in.
Yeah, Jree actually going to throw down the solar flare. Alexich going to get caught out from this one. He almost took Creaton with him on the way, but the rest of the tanky beasts are right in the middle. And look at Darien. He's absolutely dumping on everyone. Double kill for him. Finally does start to go low. Kevin's going to be able to force them out of this one. Creaton's at half HP at the back. Darien dives in again, does come out, but here comes KhaZix. Creaton going to get slowed. Ultimate use. Randuin's Omen. Creaton, you're a dead man. And Kevin might not escape this one either. Diamond forced him right onto the fountain. He does get away, though.
So the inhibitor turret falls. The rest of Gambit are now on the inhibitor. That was a very good barrel from Kerp that allowed them to pick up the kill on Alexich. But the problem is they're so far behind, it does not matter. There's a 14,000 gold. The Gambit have got minions on the in the base, and now they're going to siege up this Nexus turret. They don't give a monkey.
They don't give a monkeys. They're going to fight this one, but the rest of Millenium actually spawning in, so Gambit have to be a little bit careful about this. And by a little bit, just back away. That's the wise thing to do at this stage. Darien, we all know that he doesn't like backing away at any point, even if he's got 5 guys chasing him through the enemy's jungle. He still somehow manages to get away from those scenarios. Gambit going to clean up a few buffs and what have you here. The blue buff going to go over towards Diamond. Genja is doing the red buff on the top side of Millenium.
They're being collapsed on, though. They could be in trouble. Barrel Even's going to help them.
Oh, Kerp going a little bit too far out from this one. Another hook lands for Eddie, but not sure they really want this fight. The rest of the team starting to chase around. Diamond trying to escape off to the backside. When's he going to have that jump up? Edward, I don't think will get away. Solar Flare missed. The pillar didn't slow him, but surely Edward can't get away.
Here comes Gambit.
Down. There is the kill. Kevin gets that one, but Alex is coming in from the backside. He's going to go straight towards Kerp. Here comes the burst. They turn around, try and get Alex down. There's a lot of damage back on towards Alex, and he will now have to turn around and back off.
I'd like to point out that was Gambit engaging or re-engaging a 2v4, and Millenium not being able to actually keep them in place or have enough damage to get through Alexich's Ryze. That is a super tanky Ryze. His Seraph's Embrace is completed. He's had his Rod of Ages for an age. Negatron Cloak and Chain Vest. Right now, Gambit are in just such a good position. Is that an Ohm Wrecker?
It is an Ohm Wrecker for Darien.
So, you know what? Gambit have tower dove so many times, and they've been in the face of Millenium so many times. They've picked up an Ohm Wrecker. This is Darien. This is Darien. I mean, there's nothing more you can say. You can't theory craft that. That is just him saying, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to win anyway.
Well, going to kill Jree here, or is he? Jree flashes off to the side. Darien says, nope, I'm going to keep going on this one. It is actually Alex that picks up that kill. Well, that's going to leave them 5v4 as Gambit close in onto that inner turret in the top lane. I'll tell you what, Darien might just step forward and think about having a fight from this one. He does, just slicing and dicing in and out of the fight. That's turret number 6 here for Gambit. Their gold lead is astronomical at this point.
So just, you know, for curiosity's sake, with 125 ability power, he gains an additional 13 damage per second on Dominus. I definitely think that's hashtag worth in your itemization. Right now, Gambit, let's go. Wrecker active and tower dive. Don't even need the active because you're Gambit.
Oh, good knockback though there by Kerp. Gets a couple of them low. Who are they going to focus on? They were actually focusing Kevin, which is not the target. Solar Flare was a sun away from where they really needed it. And Jree now the focus from that one. Genja is going to take down Araneae on Lucian as he picks up the double kill. And Gambit are just swarming in around. There's a flash in from KhaZix. One more will do it. He does get that one, but Kevin trying to finish up the rest. No, Alex secures the double. Only Kerp alive. Gragas, what are you going to do? The turret, they can't stop beyond right now. They did manage to get that. He's down. Ace for Gambit here. This is surely the game.
This is definitely game. There's so much damage on the side of Gambit. They're going to be able to just push in with the super minions in that mid lane, get onto the Nexus turret. Gambit have put on one hell of a show. They beat Millenium faster than they beat any other team in the LCS. This is 4-0 to Gambit.
4-0, not dropping a single game over the course of the split. They're not done just yet though. Millenium tried for a few more. All they're doing is giving KhaZix more kills to boost his KDA at this stage. 9-3-8 on KhaZix at this stage of the game. And there is Araneae, who not doing much for his KDA this game, that's for sure. 1-8-5 for him. Nexus going to be focused somewhat here, but Gambit are kind of low. Scared of losing out on a few deaths.
Yeah, at this point in time, I think Gambit are definitely having some more fun with this one. Inhibitor is down in the mid in the top lane. Edward even gets Darien out safely. I think we have some very serious questions to ask at Gambit's theory crafters and Gambit's analysts, because they don't subscribe to the same item crafting theory that the rest of the world does. And I think they'll give you some humorous replies if you talk to them.
Let's have a look what comes out, because everyone's got quite a lot of gold here. Genja himself, I think, was sat on over 4,000 gold to go back with. 2,300 for Darien as well, so he can add something strange and beautiful into his build.
Put things into perspective. With Genja sitting at over 4,000 gold right now. Yeah, Hourglass, why not? When you've got over 4,000 gold on Genja, his team is 20,000 gold ahead of Millenium. So Genja has not spent half of the total gold that Creaton's earned this entire game. I mean, there's nothing you can do against that item deficit, even with an Hourglass, Morellinomicon, Wrecker, Renekton.
Just finished off Blade of the Ruined King. He's actually waiting in base now. There's a static shift and a stinger. Yes. Going the same way as we've seen him. Zephyr as item number 4. At this point, it doesn't particularly matter, I feel, though.
Yeah, I think there's bigger things to talk about. Alex is going to get caught out. Not even. Millenium are too scared to go 3-on-1 against Alex's Ryze because they have no idea where the rest of Gambit are. Right now, it is just a matter of formality. Gambit going to siege down this mid turret. There's only 3 of them. They are that strong. They're going to go on to the inhibitor with just 3 members.
Well, Darien does have the extra armor from that Sonya's Hourglass, which is definitely what he wanted with that item. KhaZix going to get closed down. Does have himself a Guardian Angel, though. Will he be able to escape afterwards? Here comes the damage back onto Diamond joining in. Alex only just going down from that one. Jree going to be isolated. There was the shutdown on towards Alex, which came in from Araneae. Jree will fall in the end, though. And this is just a simple push in to finish off the Nexus. They may end up diving into the fountain at this rate. I'm sure Darien is kind of fancying that one. But the Nexus is going to start taking damage from those super minions. There's a ward in there. Is Darien going to dive in? The rest of the team catch out. Kerp is low, but he's going to go in there. Darien uses Sonya's at the end. And Gambit take down Millenium. Having a bit of fun there at the end, but a dominating performance from the Russians.